the heart and soul behind every business. Stories. Welcome to Business Story of the Week, hosted by me, Joshua Laurie. From setbacks to comebacks, from tragedies to triumphs, we inspire entrepreneurs through conversations that matter. Witness the magic that turns dreams into reality. Whether it's your career, business, or life, your success is always one story away. This is Business Story of the Week.
Hello, I am Dr. Sonia Cunningham Leverette. Welcome to Business Story of the Week.
Fantastic, ladies and gentlemen, and that is the lovely Dr. Sonia, the red, full of love today. I love it. She's going to be our guest for today. And of course, my name is Joshua. And every day, every episode, we start off with a riveting question. And the question is, it's actually quite adorable. The question would be, how can a simple children's book shape a young reader's future? Well, Dr. Sonia is the perfect guest to answer that question and more, where she will talk about Hadassah's Crown Publishing. Dr. Sonia Cunningham Leverette is an Amazon best-selling author, veteran educator, and the founder of Hadassah's Crown Publishing. With over 30 years in education and over 100 books published, she is dedicated to empowering young minds through stories that promote self-esteem, leadership, and character development. And today, Dr. Sonia is going to share her loveliness with us and her experience and her wisdom. Dr. Sonia, thank you for coming on the show. How are you doing?
I'm great. I am so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm quite excited as well, Doctor. I mean, first off, I love having book writers on the show because I'm quite an avid book writer myself, and I dreamed of some way of being an author, maybe. And having guests like you on here makes me feel like someday I could be an author too. But Dr. Sonia, where did this all begin? Like, you inspire young minds through reading or through storytelling or through the books that you publish. But I want to establish first, what was the young Sonia like? What was the young Sonia like? Would she always love reading books? Would she always love stories? And when was the first time you realized that books can uplift and heal?
The young Sonia started off slowly with reading. I did not enjoy reading because I was a slower reader because I didn't read. So once I found the right books, then I became an avid reader, and I was so upset that I hadn't read much sooner. But once I found the right books, I could not put them down. And it was like just something that I wanted everyone to have the opportunity to experience. And so then, as an educator, I loved books, trying to get students to read. And then once I retired as an educator, I decided I wanted to combine my passions of books and people and write books, especially for children, just to really give them topics of interest that would make them really want to read.
I love that. Of course, you've taken that experience now and the love and the passion of teaching people and connecting with them as well. But Dr. Sonia, why children's book in particular? Because you have an experience as an educator, influence your approach today and combining that with your passion for books. And you could have gone into different books. You could have gone to fiction route. You could probably gone into, like a more educational route, so to speak. But why writing children's book in particular, and how has it approached your the way you approach children, the way you approach writing in general?
Well, we do work with authors of varying genres, but the priority for my writing and for publishing, those are children's books, because if you can get children to read when they're very young, then they will
Yes,
become lifelong readers. And
I
the
agree.
earlier they start, the better, as you know.
And it's very important too because you tackle topics like self-esteem, character development, and I subscribe to that. It's truly very important to pick up the habit of reading. right? And the earlier you start, the better, because so much so now we're experiencing. I mean, we're seeing adults already who just hate reading, like they can't even read. I get it. You don't have to love reading, but you have to have the ability to sit down and read and maintain that focus. And I think that is causing a lot of trouble for us, especially kids today who are stuck on their devices. This is a completely different topic, by the way, but if we can get that habit to read, I think that spills over into many different parts of our lives. We can sit down in class and read through books. We can sit down through any reading materials, and it's a very, very important ability and skill to have. But more than that, with the children's books, you know especially talking about self esteem and character development. Dr. Sonia, your publishing company is, of course, Hadassah's Publishing. When it comes to publishing a book, if publishing a book was like planting a tree, so to speak, what would be the roots? What would be the branches? And what would be the fruits when it comes to, the journey in helping aspiring authors, whether it be for children's book or other adult books as well?
So for me, the root or the actually planting the seed is first of
Mhm.
all figuring out some type of issue or problem that is confronting children. And one of the things that we have written about is just the technology and how it has consumed our children. And so we are making a book that's very funny about how, when technology is gone, when the power is out, for example, what is it that you can do that can fill your time? And so not just on those days of power outages, there will be other times when you can't access a device. I mean, we've seen children who have tantrums because their charger, their what is it that you can do to still enjoy life? Because children have to have skills beyond what they're able to see on the tablet.
Of
So
course.
we do have workshops that help authors or future authors, prospective authors, determine issues that need to be discussed in books. We look to see what's out there as far as how, saturated or how much volume there is on any given topic. And then we kind of look for holes and things too that are of interest to us. We have to have somewhat of an expertise in the area, or we have to be ready to really research the area to just really make a heartwarming story that will reel children in and to help them see the point when it's all said and done. Would be the different techniques that we would use to get them in and to
Wow.
pull them in and to also make sure that they have leaves that they can take with them and remember what that book taught and how it can be applied to their life.
I love that. And of course, Dr. Sonia, I love that, by the way. You just came up with it's an impromptu question, but you came up with beautiful answer right away. Of course, coming up with what we can address with kids as well. We talked about the device, but we talk about self-esteem, character development, ability or skill, building that skill to read, and the branches, the techniques that you do in your publishing, the books, and of course the takeaway, the leaves, the fruits, the fruition of all these efforts when it comes to the books that we write for them and the lessons that we want to teach them. Dr. Sonia, on your publishing website, Hadassah Crown Publishing website, you emphasize publishing excellence with integrity. What was it? What was the reason? What was the inspiration behind this philosophy, and how has it shaped your relationship with authors?
Well, for one, I always wanted to be an author. I was an English teacher. I loved books, as we've discussed. And once I became a published author in 2015, I decided that eventually, when I was a little closer to retiring, and I did this in 2016, I founded Hadassah's Crown Publishing.
Yes.
And Hadassah is actually Queen Esther from the Bible because she was one who reached the castle, but she didn't just forget about her people. She reached back to help others. And so I really love her story. It's one of the best biblical stories for me. And that is my goal, to reach back and help other amazing people become published authors as well. And so I know going the traditional route, it can be very difficult for most authors. There are a lot of hoops to jump. It is a hurry up and wait game. And it's a lot of quarrying and just simply sitting on your story for a very, very long time. But there's some real quality work that needs to be shared, and we want to get it in print. But we don't just want to print anything. We want to go through many checks and balances. We do a lot of editing, we do a lot of formatting, and we make sure that what we present is of excellence. It is of quality. It is something that is going to add to someone's life. And so the integrity is, in publishing, as in any other industry, there are a lot of sharks and vultures, wolves.
Wow.
I have
Everywhere.
had many authors come to me after they have been basically robbed by other people, saying they will do this or they will do that. And at the end of the day, they did none of that. And so what I try to do is just, take them by the hand, stay in constant contact with them so they know and they see what it is that I'm working on. And I truly involve them in the process so that if after they have published with us, they're interested in publishing on their own, they're equipped to do that. So we do a lot of coaching, a lot of consulting, a lot of Zoom sessions, because we have authors all over the country, and we don't ever let distance keep us from staying in close touch and really teaching. Our philosophy is we want to empower other people to be able to publish their books if that's what they desire to do.
I love that. I love that. And of course, like, you're giving that sense of hope as well, right? And you're helping others, you're helping aspiring authors to achieve their dreams. But what you're also doing is like you're leading with a steady hand, you're leading with integrity, because my goodness, I mean, imagine if your dream to be squandered by someone who wasn't working with integrity. Dr. Sonia, is this a common challenges? Like apart from that as well, what would be the common challenges that you face when it comes to publishing authors, and how have you helped them overcome? What would be that common thread where authors cannot break through, and how have you helped them break through that?
Many authors struggling with the writing process, people who
Interesting.
have experienced trauma, or people who just have really, really good stories, may be able to put bits and pieces of it down, but actually being able to connect it, make it flow, and really make it highly, just readable
Interesting.
so that
Yes.
someone will really enjoy it. That may be a challenge. And so that's where we're able to perform coaching and to help someone with that. We have had some writers who have nailed it from the very beginning. Of course, there still have to always be edits, always clean up just to make sure all of the tenses are correct, the subject verb agreements and that type thing. We may have to do proofreading to clean up, just make sure all the grammar and punctuation, capitalization, everything's the way it's supposed to be. But there are a lot of people who really, really struggle. They have a great story, but as far as being able to present it is a challenge. And that's my English background that comes to the forefront, and we're able to sit down, have writing lessons, and help with that, just so that that great story can find itself on the shelf.
It's almost like helping them organize their thoughts, right? Because so much so we always have this creative, this creative bug in all of us, but at the same time, it's just that's just what it is. It's an idea. That doesn't mean it's always, it's it sounds better in my head, right? Like it sounds better in my mind. It looked better in my mind, but how do I translate it down into books that is not only readable but also interesting, right? And I love that, of course, that part of it. You need to come up with a way to organize those thoughts for your authors. But it's another step into helping authors fulfill their dream. Dr. Sonia, As you continue to write, as you continue to publish, as you continue to help others do the same things, what are your future aspirations for Hadassah's Crown Publishing and your vision for the next generation of leaders and readers?
My vision, honestly, is to continue doing what we're doing and to produce more children's books, especially middle school, middle level books to really engage that age level, and maybe even more for high school as well. The goal again is to try to heal through words. Academics are so very important, but it's
Yes, of course.
difficult to really make the best of your schooling if you have hurts and pains and unresolved issues. And so we have focused a good bit on grief because during the pandemic, many children lost caretakers, they lost guardians, they lost some of the most important people in their lives, and things are never the same again after that. Our children today have seen more tragedies than many other generations in America, and that's for sure. And just with the climate of so much of what's going on, we want to keep our children as innocent as possible, and we want them to have really good and cute stories. But at the same time, we want them to be able to process some of the hard things in society that they see, which is unfortunate because they're not developmentally really ready to handle and to process those things. So those are a few of the goals that we have.
I love that because you're not only just teaching them, a life skill when it comes to reading, you're taking it a step further because we just need we just need a little bit more love, right? We just need a little bit more support in this world, and especially kids today. I feel like it's very, very crucial in this day and time that they get as many support and you know, need as all the love that they can possibly find, especially in a tumultuous time, in a tumultuous age, in a very malleable age as well. I love that you have. It's part of your vision to not only you know to help them but support them, but at the same time give them that support that everyone needs, and especially children is very, very needed. Of course, to our audience and listeners out there, the website to check out Hadassah's Crown Publishing. Where can we learn more about you, Dr. Sonia? Where can we find out more about Hadassah Crown Publishing?
The website, and if you Google, you'll be able to see many of the books that we have published on
Yes.
Amazon. We have an author page, and then our authors do as well. But if you go to Amazon.com and put in Hadassah's Crown Publishing, you can see all of the books that we have published just as you can on our website. And we also have a YouTube channel where we offer free tips to current authors or aspiring authors, but we
Right.
also read books to children sometimes. So it's all about literacy,
Oh,
it's
wow.
about
Very
family
cool.
engagement. There are many different things. For authors, it's even their tips on setting up your author business. So
Mm.
check our YouTube channel out. It has a lot of information if you're interested in, first of all, knowing how to support your child as a reader, but also if you're interested in possibly writing and publishing a book one day.
Wow, I love it. Of course, again, hadassahscrownpublishing.com. You can find them also on YouTube. Make sure to check that out. Book reading, I'm already sold. Like, make sure to check out that channel, hadassahscrownpublishing.com. You're also on Facebook and all the other socials. Make sure to give them a follow. Dr. Sonia, it has been very, very lovely. I'm glad to have had you on the show, that we got to share this, that we got to share your mission and your aspirations. Dr. Sonia, one last bit of wisdom that you would love to leave behind our audience and listeners, what would it be?
I would just like to say everyone has a story. Everyone has a story that can be shared to help someone else. Everyone will not make the decision to write a book, but you have to think about it. You have a choice. Will you leave your story here as a legacy for other generations, or will you take your story and will it land in the graveyard where it truly can't help anyone? So that's a pretty critical decision to make. So hopefully you will share your story in some form or fashion while you're here on this earth. And that's our hope. We want to help you get your message out because you never know what that black and white print can do and how it can help someone else on their journey.
Absolutely. When we tell our stories, we give the courage, other courage to tell their stories as well. Dr. Sonia, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. It has been a tremendous pleasure. We appreciate the opportunity.
The pleasure is mine, of course, and to all our audience and listeners out there, thank you for watching the episode. We hope you guys enjoyed this. We will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
All right, so here's the thing. We try to get a little bit better every day, but we can't do it without you. So if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe below. And if you have any comments, just leave them in the space under.